Good, happy Wednesday evening. I'm Riley King, and welcome to this Wednesday evening edition of the Riley King Newscast, right here on the Riley King Network. We have a lot of news to get to this Wednesday evening, so let's get started. First up, Windham police say park bench unbolted, put on top of gazebo Sunday morning. Let's take a listen to that video from WMUR News 9.
Well, new on daybreak, the Windham Police Department is investigating after someone unbolted a park bench and put it on top of a gazebo. This happened at Griffin Park early Sunday morning. Police say the bench, gazebo, and other park property were damaged. 2 men and a dog were spotted on surveillance video around the time of the vandalism. If you have any information, please contact police.
Okay, and there you go on that video and that report. One killed in early morning house fire in Northampton. Let's take a listen to that video from WMUR News 9.
Earn your degree faster at Purdue University Global. With over 175 online programs.
From the road, you can see where the rear of the home at 20 Woodknoll Drive has collapsed. A neighbor called reporting the fire around 3:45 in the morning.
There was definitely a sense of urgency when we got here.
That's because a person who lived in the house and had made their way outside told first responders there was still someone inside. The first 3 firefighters on the scene made their way into the home.
They stretched one hose line. They were attempting to extinguish fire and also found a victim as a result of their search.
The victim, who was located in the rear of the house, had already passed away. No firefighters were hurt, but 2 police officers were taken to the hospital to be checked out for smoke inhalation. They were treated and released.
Fire was under control, I'd say, within about 45 minutes.
The chief says there were no problems in fighting the fire as they sounded a first alarm that brought in crews from surrounding towns. We are hoping to learn more later this afternoon, as a press release should be coming shortly. One thing firefighters are still looking into is whether or not the home was equipped with working smoke detectors. Reporting live in Northampton, Ray Brewer, WMUR News 9.
Okay, and there you go on that video and that report. Service planned for New Hampshire Motor Speedway crash victim. Let's take a listen to that video from WMUR News 9.
The man killed in a motorcycle race at New Hampshire Motor Speedway will be honored this Friday. The service will be held for Scott Mullen from 4 to 7 p.m. at the Smith and Heald Funeral Home in Milford. The Scott Mullen Honorary Trust has also been set up for the family. Donations may be left at the service or mailed to Souhegan Valley Motorsports. Mullen was killed during a single bike crash at Sunday's Unlimited Superbike event.
Okay, and there you go on that video and that report. River Dave to stay in jail at least until next week. Let's take a listen to that video from WMUR News 9.
New at noon, David Lidstone, the man known as River Dave, will remain in jail at least another week for not complying with a court order. He appeared virtually before a judge this morning for another bail hearing. The 81-year-old says he will not collect his belongings from the cabin he built along the Merrimack River. A judge says Lidstone and the Vermont man who owns the property could meet to resolve the case.
Unless you say that you'll live by the judgment, as long as that injunction is in place, if you say that any day, you hold the key. Tell that to Jennifer. I'm going to try and get you in the next day and get you out.
River Dave has lived on the land in Canterbury for 27 years. He says he has a verbal agreement to keep the cabin there, but has nothing in writing.
Okay, and there you go on that video and that report. News 9's Unsolved. Who killed Winston Skip Morris? Let's take a listen to that video from WMUR News 9. Okay, and there you go on that video and that report. Explore the 2021 Sunflower Festival at Corporal House Farm in Lee. Let's take a listen to that video from WMUR News 9.
That look is a look that can only happen by a roaring fire at a Verbo cabin.
Could Governor Andrew Cuomo be impeached or face federal charges? Let's take a listen to that video from ABC7 and why.
So many angles to this story. One of them is based, as Dave said, up north in Albany, where the fate of Governor Cuomo could very well rest. In fact, one of the strongest statements yet from Mr. Cuomo's own Lieutenant Governor, Kathy Hogan, writing, quote, "The Attorney General's investigation has documented repulsive and unlawful behavior by the governor towards multiple women. I believe these brave women and admire their courage going forward." End quote. So will the Assembly launch an investigation to impeach Eyewitness News reporter Marcus Solis? Covering that part of the story, he's live at the state capitol for us. Marcus.
And Bill, as Dave just alluded to, the State Assembly is conducting its own wide-ranging investigation beyond just sexual harassment and also looking into COVID-related deaths in nursing homes. Some lawmakers say enough is enough. The AG's report today is enough, should be enough, to get the impeachment ball rolling.
This just did not happen.
The response was recorded in the executive chamber of the State House. How long Andrew Cuomo continues to occupy it remains the question. As lawmakers renew their call for the governor to resign, others like Senate Republican leader Rob Ortt say it's time for Cuomo to be impeached.
We cannot let this just sit. This needs to be acted upon. I think anything less would be an abdication and dereliction of duty and responsibility.
Outside of Albany, top Democrats in New York's congressional delegation reacting. Senator Schumer and Gillibrand calling the governor's reported actions profoundly disturbing, inappropriate, and completely unacceptable. No elected official is above the law. The people of New York deserve better leadership in the governor's office. We continue to believe that the governor should resign. And from Democratic mayoral nominee Eric Adams, it is now the duty of the New York State Assembly to take swift and appropriate action and move forward with impeachment proceedings if the governor will not resign. Senate Majority Leader Andrew Stewart Cousins says she can't predict if and when the Assembly moves forward, but says it's time.
I do believe that there is enough information contained in the Attorney General's report to look very, very closely at how we as a state want to be perceived and how we as a state react to substantiated allegations of this magnitude.
And you're looking at a live picture of the executive mansion. The governor is here at the state capitol in Albany, but lawmakers are not. There's no legislative session. Lawmakers would have to be called back by the Assembly Speaker Carl Hastie, who in a statement today said we will have more to say in the very near future. Republicans in the legislature say they are ready to return to Albany tomorrow.
Okay, and there you go on that video and that report. And that does it for this evening edition of the Riley King Newscast, right here on the Riley King Network. I hope you all have a great rest of your evening, and I'll see you back here tomorrow for another newscast. Good night and goodbye.